The woman was about to head out when she found the front door of her house was sealed shut by a black wall. At first she thought it was her boyfriend's prank, but when she opened the window, she found the black wall was blocking there too. The two of them hurried to check all the windows, and found every door and window had all been sealed by the black wall. The two of them panicked completely. They clearly lived on the 18th floor. How could there possibly be a wall outside the window? They wanted to call for help, but found their phones had no signal, and the Wi-Fi network was completely down. They tried searching for a signal everywhere, but when they got close to the wall, they were shocked to find the phone screen started shaking, and the closer they got, the more violently the screen shook. It seemed there was a strange magnetic field behind the wall, since the signal could not pass through the wall. Then try a physical method. Amy picked up the power drill, and tried to drill into the black wall, but when the drill bit hit the wall, it had no effect at all. The two decided to increase the force, and use the drill together. The drill bit was almost smoking, but the wall still had no damage at all. Matt decided to drill from the wall near the door, but after breaking through, something seemed to be blocking it. It looked like the entire room was sealed shut, but they didn't want to give up. They started drilling from all corners of the room, trying to find a way out, but the truth was, all of the outer walls of the house had already been sealed by the black wall. But just as the two were in despair, they suddenly heard noise from the neighbors next door. They quickly drilled toward the neighbor's wall, and to their surprise, that wall could actually be opened. They quickly shouted for help inside, and the neighbors really heard their voices. It turned out they had run into the same situation as Matt and Amy. All the exits were blocked by the black wall. There was no way to escape. Even though they found companions, the problem was still not solved. And when Matt checked the faucet, he found the water supply was cut off too. It wouldn't be long before they would all die of thirst here. Thinking of this, Matt angrily smashed his phone, then fell into silence. But as he sat there, he suddenly noticed there seemed to be a white dot on the black wall. Looking closer, it turned out to be a small piece from the phone he had smashed. The magnetic pull of the wall was surprisingly strong, and Matt seemed to realize something. So he brought all kinds of metal utensils and objects, and spread them evenly on the black wall. After some trial and error, they found 4 spots on the wall that could attract more objects. So Amy decisively started working. She placed all the pieces right on those 4 spots, but soon after, the little objects that had been still began to shake. The next second, although they survived, Matt was injured. Luckily, after treatment, his injuries were not serious. Even though they discovered some properties of the black wall, it still didn't help them break it. They decided to use everyone's wisdom, so they broke through the wall and called the neighbors over. At this point, the woman next door suddenly remembered the base of the building was connected to a bomb shelter, and the bomb shelter led to the subway, which meant, as long as they dug downward, they could escape from the bottom and leave the strange black wall. So everyone immediately went to work. They grabbed axes and smashed into the floor. After hard work, they broke through to the room below, but it seemed no one lived there. It was pitch black, and no matter how they shouted, there was no response. So Matt tied clothes into a rope and climbed down first. To be safe, his girlfriend handed him a baseball bat, but as soon as he looked up, a figure appeared behind him. It turned out there was an old man hiding there all along, and he even had a gun in his hand. Everyone upstairs hurried to explain. At the bottom of the building there was a bomb shelter. It connected to the subway, so as long as they dug down, they could escape the black wall. Hearing this, the old man finally lowered his guard, but just as everyone was about to keep digging, Matt was shocked to find, inside the smoke detector above, there was a hidden mini camera. He quickly checked the other detectors, and sure enough found hidden cameras. Could it be the landlord behind this strange black wall? To solve the mystery, they went to the landlord's room, but to their shock, the landlord had already died a miserable death, and both of his hands had been neatly cut off. Everyone was scared half to death, so to get out of this cursed place, they could only keep digging down. After going through several empty rooms, they came to a programmer's home. When he saw them, he wasn't afraid, but actually welcomed them warmly. But when he heard they wanted to escape the black wall, the white-haired man almost laughed. He said the black wall wasn't meant to trap everyone. It appeared to save everyone. He had found through the dark web that outside there was a deadly virus with an extremely high fatality rate. To protect the citizens, the government activated the black wall emergency system. Although his words sounded convincing, they were still doubtful. Even if there really was a virus outside, they had to see it for themselves. So everyone continued digging, and finally reached a basement 10 meters below. At the very bottom, they found the iron gate to the subway. They quickly moved away the boxes in front, and smashed the bars with axes. Just like that, they opened the gate, but to their shock, behind the iron gate was the same black wall. It could even extend 10 meters underground. Jeff completely broke down. He grabbed the old man's gun, and started shooting at the black wall, but as the bullets got close, they suddenly hovered in the air, and couldn't move forward. Matt sensed danger, and shouted for everyone to get down. The next second, all the bullets ricocheted back. Most people dodged, but the old man was too slow. A bullet hit his heart, and he died on the spot. Despair once again covered everyone, but just as all hope seemed gone, Matt said they could not give up. He had seen many black wall photos on the landlord's phone. Maybe there were more clues in his room. They couldn't miss even the slightest chance to escape. So they returned to the landlord's room again. After searching carefully, Matt found the landlord's room was smaller than the others. There seemed to be a hidden space inside. Jeff also found a remote control in the drawer. Pressing the button triggered the hidden space, but the code had countless combinations. They first had to figure out the number of digits. A little flour would do the trick. A 4-digit code only had 10,000 combinations. With some luck they could guess it quickly. So Matt and Jeff entered the hidden room, and were stunned by what they saw. The landlord had been monitoring their lives all along. But for them, this was good news, because through the recordings, they could see how the black wall appeared. Rewinding to 6 a.m., they finally found the time of its appearance. Strangely, it looked like it fell from the sky, and instantly covered the whole building. Checking more footage, they found another clue. The programmer downstairs had once opened the black wall, although the footage didn't capture the wall opening. After a series of flashes, the hallway light could be seen shining through the wall. But before they could celebrate, the footage showed a horrifying scene. The white-haired man rushed in and killed the programmer, and strangled him to death. Matt rushed back, and found the white-haired man fighting with Jeff. He had already killed the old man's granddaughter. Matt quickly joined the fight. Although the white-haired man was strong, with 2 against 1, they finally subdued him, but they couldn't kill him, because he was the only one who might know how to escape. So they tied him up, and tortured him for answers. But he seemed possessed, muttering that the black wall was protecting everyone, and refusing to say how to get out. They had no choice. They had to find another way. Just then Daisy's voice came from above. She had discovered something new through the footage. The programmer who was killed had been writing some kind of program. That program could probably open the black wall. But after killing him, the white-haired man had immediately snapped his phone. But that couldn't stop Matt, who was a game engineer. As long as the storage chip remained, everything could be recovered. He transferred the program from the broken phone onto his own. Soon 4 white squares appeared on the screen. Matt pressed them one by one, and something strange happened. The black wall began to change. Daisy thought it might be a portal, so she curiously put her hand inside, but when she tried to pull it out, she couldn't. Before she could react, her whole lower body was sucked in. Everyone tried to pull her out, but in the end only half her body came back. Seeing this, Jeff completely lost it. He shot the white-haired man dead, and unable to accept his wife's death, he killed himself. After all the chaos, only Matt and Amy remained, but they still had one last hope: to find the correct order of the 4 buttons. If top to bottom didn't work, then try bottom to top. Matt tried again, but when he pressed the 3rd button, his girlfriend quickly told him to stop, because Amy had noticed the flashing pattern. Each button flashed a fixed number of times. For example, the bottom button flashed twice. The second from the bottom flashed 6 times. So by matching the flash order, they could determine the right sequence. This time they finally opened the black wall, and when they stepped outside, the whole city was wrapped in the black wall. Turning on the car radio, they finally learned the truth. It turned out all of this happened because a company called Nano Defense had a fire accident, which caused a system failure, and automatically activated the secret defense system. All the programmers who knew the truth were trapped in the building, unable to communicate. Now only Matt and Amy knew the way to open the black wall, which meant the 2 of them were about to become the saviors of the city.